Hey everyone, it's Matt, aka Tech Ranger, and today we're going to be talking about the Fallout TV show. You've probably heard of it by now, and thank God, Todd.
All of this just works.
I was a little worried about it personally, just from seeing the trailers. It looks really good, but when it looks really good, we know from a certain show, it doesn't always mean that it will be good. So in this video, I'm going to give just a plot overview and then give my thoughts on the show itself. While I make mod content mainly for Fallout, I have been playing Fallout since Fallout 3, so this review is from the perspective of somebody who's been playing Fallout for years. Leave a like down below if you enjoyed the video, and leave a comment if you watched the show or plan on watching the show or just waiting to see some reviews. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the Fallout TV show and why I think it's pretty rad, pun intended. One of the first scenes that they actually released before the show came out was this one, and when I first saw it, I saw all of the Fallout things that I wanted to see in the show, and it didn't seem too out of place. Like, the Vault Dweller acts like a Vault Dweller, totally oblivious to everything, and then the Ghoul is this kind of gunslinger that has seen some things, and that sets the tone for the entire series pretty much. Side note, I just started playing Fallout 76, and definitely the exact opposite of this Ghoul right here. So in that clip, you had Lucy, the Vault Dweller. She's the main character of the show, and she's in the vault, about to be married off to somebody to repopulate, and through a turn of events, she has to leave the vault. There's a MacGuffin to chase, which all sounds pretty reminiscent of what it's like to actually play a Fallout game. The show actually takes place after the games, and it's far enough in the future where there's a lot of room to tell stories in between that time. So there's no weird, like, alternate timeline going on. This is the Fallout universe, and all these events are actually taking place in that same universe. And you also follow a Brotherhood of Steel initiate, and the paths of all these characters will cross at some point. I always thought these two different types of characters were pretty interesting to have in a show. In the games, Vault Dwellers live in the vaults for most of their life. You're playing a Vault Dweller, so you're just kind of introduced to this world. Everything's trying to kill you. On the flip side of that, if you're an initiate in the Brotherhood, all you know is what the Brotherhood tells you. So if you start there when you're a child, no concept of what the Wasteland really is like. It's a role-playing game, so you need to know your role, and then that's how you survive the Wasteland. Things are serious, but the tone is light because there's things like Nuka-Cola, and there's 40s and 50s music playing on the radio, and then you have that whole style kind of populating parts of the Wasteland. It's a cool, fun environment when it really shouldn't be, because everything looks drab. And that's what the show does really well, and then it sprinkles enough Fallout things in it, like references and places you know and things you know, where you'll be like Rick Dalton pointing at the TV whenever you see one. So what did I think of the show? Well, if it's not already apparent, I really like the show. There's a lot of things in it that just kind of work as part of a new Fallout story. While you're not playing the game, you're watching the game kind of play out, if that makes sense. The main characters also interact with people who you'd probably run into in the Fallout universe. One of the first things you see when Lucy leaves the vault is this person that just lives out in the middle of nowhere in the Wasteland and is just really awkward and kind of mirrors some of the conversations that you have sometimes in the games. So the whole time when I was watching the show, it just seemed like the showrunners and everybody involved in the project just understood the assignment and then ran with it. Everything about the show screams Fallout, the attention to detail, the sets, the props, the environments, and it makes me want to go back and watch the show again and again just because there's a lot of little references that I may not have picked up the first time watching it. I think the cast is also another standout. I mean, Walton Goggins as the Ghoul. If you've ever seen Righteous Gemstones or Justified, I think he plays a mixture of those characters, but in Fallout, and it's both hilarious and then also kind of terrifying. One of the great things about the show is that these characters develop. You kind of see them on a journey, and that in the end I think is what really sets this show apart from any other video game adaptations. As far as what I didn't like in the show, there's not really a whole lot, and I don't even know if I can name one. I was kind of just along for the ride. If anything, I would maybe say an extra episode or two to flesh out a couple of the different storylines. No spoilers here, but it has to do with a couple factions that for those of us who play Fallout are very familiar with and like to see more of. So those are my thoughts on the show. I really enjoyed it. I hope we see more seasons of the Fallout show. Without spoiling the ending, it does set up the next season, so that one has already been greenlit, which is awesome. Let me know what you thought of the show in the comments down below, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.